across in life and how they put you first, and they concentrate on showing the fact that they put you first. We thank you so much for travel safety. And I pray right now over this group that's on this phone call or this web conference, that all of us keep that in mind as well, that we put you first, because without you, we can do nothing. We dedicate our business to you right now. We ask that you bring the people to us. Like I pray this every day. I've already prayed this actually to you already today. So just pray that you continue to bring the people, that you prepare their hearts, that you open our minds, and that you go with us on a daily basis. For those of us who were not at conference, pray that you speak to them through us, and that we pass along what we need to, so that as a whole team, we can accomplish what we all set out to do together. Thank you so much for loving us and sending your son to die on the cross for us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
All right. Okay. So Bethany, it's showing that she's here, but she's not. It's just so that we can record, because it wouldn't let me record. Since she's the actual host, she's the only one who can record. Okay, so tonight we are going to just do like a little recap of conference, and oh my gosh, my mind is still like reeling and blown, and it's crazy. So who wants to go first? Who wants to tell us like your favorite aha-ist moments of the weekend? Yeah?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I will. I think my biggest aha-ist moment, or the thing that hit me the most, was after the video of Joel and Stephanie's Black Diamond experience, when they were actually on stage. Like, I've watched that video a bunch of times, because when Joel started talking about, and a lot of people said this, but you're not just a ruby, you're not just an executive, you're almost a diamond, you're almost a triple diamond, you're almost a black diamond. And then he went on to say, like, we don't serve a God of either or, we serve a God of both and more. And so to, like, as Pam would say, get over yourself, because that's what's stopping me. I know for me, like, I've kind of been running this as like a hobby, and I've been getting hobby pay, and I've been helping hobby people, and I need to run this as a business, and the business of my dreams, because that's the only way that I'm going to really be successful. And he and Stephanie also said, being a black diamond is about the like incredible amounts of people that you get to help along the way being there. And I think that's just something that should be your motivating factor. Checking off your dream boards, but all the other people's dreams who get fulfilled along the way.
Something. Who else? Anybody else?
I will. Go ahead. Oh, okay. For me, it was about the fight, and he's been talking about that since Green Carpet, but it was probably made more real to me. Listening to him talk about it in person. Y'all, I've been in this business for 2 years already, and I wish that I had found my fight 2 years ago. And I wish that I had worked my business like that 2 years ago, instead of, like Abby was saying, working it as a hobby. I have not been nearly as proactive as I need to be, because I've been letting too much crap hold me down. And what I've been dealing with is, well, I'm not that type of person. I don't have an outgoing personality. I'm not an extrovert. You know, I kept saying what I'm not. And then while I was sitting in conference, I was thinking about all these things that I am. and they talked about playing to your strengths. And so I made a list of the things that I am, and I'm going to ignore the things that I'm not because they don't matter. Because you can develop whatever skills you want to develop, even if they are not in your genetics. So if you want to be more outgoing, you can do that. If you want to be more extroverted, you can do that. Because first of all, you have to think about it as the Lord made you the way you are. He gave you strengths and gifts, and that's what you should use. And there's all kinds of ways you can apply those to this business. You don't have to be like someone else. You can be yourself and still do the things you need to do to be successful at this business.
I loved when they talked about that, when they said, you know, whatever your strength is, run with it. If your strength is social media, run with it. If your strength is parties, run with it. You know, whatever that is, you don't have to be like everybody else.
Right. This is about the most versatile business you can do, because you don't have to party, but you can if you want to. Everything is online, so social media works just fine. There's no reason not to do this business. You know, and so when I tell someone that as a distributor, I certainly can't sit there and let anything hold me back from doing it. You know, when I'm recruiting people and they're like, oh, I'm scared, oh, I'm not a salesperson, oh, this or that, oh, I don't have time. I can't use any of those excuses if I'm going to try to be recruiting people and have them join my team. So that was a big aha moment for me.
Yep. I love that. Julie, you want to go next?
Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
One, I know Abby already said this, but Joel and Stephanie's video, if anybody wants to watch it, I posted it on my wall. It's really, really encouraging, especially the part where Joel is like, we're professional failures. They failed at their real estate business. They failed with their franchise. They were standing in line for free food and selling stuff out of their house 6 years ago. You know, and one thing that he said was, you know, fail forward, fail your way to success, keep going, because life is a system of failures and you have to keep going forward. Another thing that really struck me was the number of different people standing on that stage saying that, you know, last year I was in the back of the room. You know, I almost quit. I didn't know what to do. But if I can do it, you can do it. And when you hear them tell, so many different people tell different stories about everything, and you really realize that they are really no different than you, and there's no reason why we can't do it the same as they did.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So
yeah, I love it when Jade Hooper got up there on the stage and she was like, she said, last year I said that Mark was going to know my name this year. And she was in, you know, one of the top 100. I don't remember exactly what her number was, but, you know, I mean, it's just incredible to me that even in the Millionaires Club, guys, did you realize that there was a presidential in the Millionaires Club? That's pretty awesome. So not just your top ranks are the ones who are millionaires. I mean, billionaires.
Well, and that's another thing that there were, like, I'd say the majority of people who were on the white couch or on the stage said that. They said, last year I said I'm going to be here. And I think that's important too. Like this past year, I've really come to embrace the power of saying things out loud or writing them down or telling someone, even if it's a dream that scares me, because there's power in speaking it, y'all, and there's power in claiming that God's going to help you get to that.
Well, you know, I mean, any great therapist will tell you self-talk is amazing, right? I mean, when you can look at yourself and say, you know, I am successful, I am powerful, I am courageous, you know, when you can say those things to yourself, you start to believe them. You know, part of our job as leaders is to believe in you when you can't believe in yourself, and to transfer that belief to you. So I hope you know, whether, and I know Bethany's not here to speak for herself, but I'll speak for her. She just lit up. Okay. We believe in you. I do. I saw so many of you at conference, and then even ones that were not there, guys. I see you working, and I know even if you're just beginning or you've been doing this for years, you can do this. You really can. So, all right, Carrie. No, that's Christy, isn't it? Yeah, Christy. Would you go next, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
The couple things. First of all, Cindy, Pentecost, the first night, and her getting up there and sharing when you can tell that she is not that person. She's very more introverted and quiet and loves the Lord, and the thought that she prayed over all the chairs and how she led worship and talked about the verse from Habakkuk, I can't say that, but anyways, that about, will not linger, will not tarry, that it's basically in God's timing. And then worship with 16,000 people about a company, and all weekend long from the stage declaring that Jesus is Lord. I mean, I'd only gone to one OTOM in LA, and they didn't even pray. And I was disappointed by that because I'd heard these stories before of this. And so, it was just absolutely amazing to me. And it was I just soaked it all in. And then the other thing, a couple different people said when they didn't know what they were doing and they were just trying to get to Diamond, they wrapped everybody they could. One of them said 50, one of them said 56 people in a month. And it was just a realistic snapshot of the volume you need to do to get the volume that you want. And then all the young moms on our team and sharing with everybody that afternoon, and just being able to share our hearts and seeing all these families that are full-time families now, and the possibility and the dreams there. That's it.
I love what you were saying about how, when you realized how much volume you needed to do for volume.
Right.
And how they were just going and getting wraps on bodies. And
right.
That's so true. And, we hear people talk about it in leadership, and they say it's ignorance on fire. And I didn't understand that the first time I heard it, but now looking back, I can see that's what I did when I started. I was desperate. I didn't care. I didn't know anything. I didn't care. I was just going to tell everybody I knew about it. I lost that along the way a little bit, and trying to kind of get it back again. That's something that is so important. You don't have to know all the details. You just gotta go. You gotta go.
Well, and and in that same vein, when Cammie was talking about the party pad, and I always kind of poo-pooed it that it wasn't enough, but in actuality, it really is enough. And the idea of having them fill out names, who could use products, and say, oh, well, see, look, you're there already. Let's just do it.
Yep, I love that. If you don't use the party pad already, you should. I didn't use it for a long time. I think maybe I've only been using it for the last 6 months. And I wish I would have used it earlier because it really does make things a lot easier. Who else? Who's down there? Erin, Jacinda, Lydia. Who else wants to go? Ashley? Cindy? Anybody?
I think one other thing that I noticed was that I think I've been way overcomplicating it and getting way too much stuff in my head about what I need to do, and listening to everybody, they do the same stuff, even the ambassadors do the same stuff that we do every day. They blitz, they wrap, they repeat. You know, it's not a giant magic science that everybody has to do. And I think I personally have been overcomplicating it way too much. And we just dumb it down and go with the party pad and just go with those basic steps. It makes it a lot less complicated, and then we don't stumble over ourselves so much when we're trying to explain it to someone else.
It's just like anything that you do. The more you do it, the easier it gets. You know, any presentation or talk or anything that you are trying to express to people, the more times you actually get it out of your mouth, the easier it is. Something Grady and I were talking about on the way back. You know, we've gone to evangelism conferences before where you learn how to tell people about the Lord and share the gospel. And part of that is actually pairing up with somebody and doing that one-on-one with them and getting that experience, getting that first time under your belt so that you're not scared for the second time. So, you know, that may be something you need to do. Maybe you need to find a partner, you know, one of your sideline sisters or your downline or your upline or somebody, and, you know, call each other on the phone or do a Zoom together and present the party pad to them like they were a potential distributor or like they were a host of party, like somebody at a party. That way you've got that first one under your belt and you're not so scared. So I see a little kid in the background. He's cute.
Also strength and confidence in numbers.
What's that?
I said there's also strength and confidence in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's a lot more fun to me to go blitz with someone than just to blitz by myself.
Yes.
And then before too long, you got a little group standing around you and you can kind of split them up, you know. But whatever you do not snipe someone's blitz. Like that happened to me at the airport. I was so mad. Anyways, if someone starts talking, let them talk when you're in groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I tend to be a lot more courageous when I'm blitzing with someone. It's like it I don't know, maybe it's the competition or whatever, but
Well, to me, it's the camaraderie.
yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of more like that. The mood can be more infectious.
Yeah.
So, and that extends over into the people you're talking to. So.
Exactly. Erin, did you have anything to say?
Sorry, I've been in class all day. I'm a zombie right now. This was my second conference, and 5 of my girls came with me, and it was just super cool just to see them finally see the vision, because I know that last year that's when Bethany had always told me about the potential with this company, but until you get to conference and actually like see it for real, it changes everything. And so just seeing it in their eyes and seeing how they're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I know I can do this. You know, that was just the coolest thing to me. You finally, I don't know, get that confidence in yourself because you see other people doing it. So that was my favorite part.
Yeah. You know, I think actually being there is so powerful just because you can literally feel it. You can feel the excitement and the anticipation. I don't know about y'all, but when we were getting ready to announce the bonuses, I mean, I'm just like, come on with it already, you know? I'm sitting here jumping up and down in my seat, and I can't sit still, and my foot's tapping, because, I mean, it was literally electric. The room was just electrified. It's almost like, you know, you can see all of our pictures, and you can watch the videos, and you can see the posts that we make and everything, and it's great and it's fun. And that's one of the things that got me to join, was seeing Beth post about going to conference. But it's not the same as being there. It's like seeing music on sheet music, seeing the notes versus hearing the song.
Hearing the music, yeah.
You know, when you hear that song, it invokes so many more emotions than just seeing it written down on a piece of paper. So I highly encourage you to make it to conference next year. I've heard a little buzz that it's going to be in a basketball arena next year. Grady talked to the number 97 income earner guy, and he said that they were saying that it was going to be at a basketball arena next year. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but that would be amazing. I know that would hold a lot more people. Yeah, so tickets hopefully won't be a problem. But in saying that, you need to start saving now. We know that tickets are going to go on sale around September or October. You need to have some money ready for that. You need to have a couple $100 ready to purchase your ticket. You know, they usually do the saver plan, and so, you know, you just have to, I think it's what, $100 at first, or $90 or something like that. $80, I don't even know what it is.
No, it was about $70 for over 3 months.
Okay, so there you go. So $70 is the first payment that you have to make. So let's get that $70 saved up so it's ready to go and you're ready to purchase your ticket. I think I mapped it out for my team. I may have put it on the TC wall. If you could just save $10 or $15 a week, every week, you would have more than enough to go to conference, get your hotel, get a rental car, fly there, have money to spend at the store while you're there. You really would, and it is absolutely life-changing and completely worth it. I mean, last year was my first conference to go. I was already diamond, but I came back and went double diamond 2 months later. So it's huge. It's huge. Who else do we have that went? Lydia, Jacinda.
I did.
You want to talk?
Who are you talking to?
Lydia, you want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
So my biggest thing has always been, like, I was like, nobody wants to do this business with me, so I'll just focus on loyal customers. So I've talked to a few people about being in the business with me, but before I was just like trying to get as many customers as possible. So when I go to conference though, I finally got that, you know, you're offering hope to people that might, you know, how they don't know how they're going to get out of debt unless something like this comes along, unless they get that, you know, double diamond bonus, you know. So it really, I don't know, just like really opened my eyes to get over myself with the blitzing, because there may be someone sitting behind you and you were too scared to blitz them, and they're like, they have so many medical bills, they don't know what they're going to do. You know, they're going to spend the rest of their life working 12 hours a day, come home, not spend any time with their families, and they're probably going to die with debt still, you know. So, but you could have said something to them and they could have paid it off. And that just really resonated with me, that, you know, if God's put it on my heart that I need to hand someone a blitz card, I need to get over myself and give it to them.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to do that. It's hard to step out there and just do that. I know. How about you, Ashley?
Yeah.
Hey, can everybody mute themselves real quick, though, unless you're talking? That way, we got a lot of background going on. Everybody know how to mute? Okay, good. All right, go ahead.
One of my aha moments, and I don't even remember who it was that said it, because there were some people that talked on the couch that day, but she was talking about, like, you never know who your runner is. And, you know, it could be the cashier, you know, at the grocery store, or it could be, you know, that family sitting next to you. You know, she's giving those examples. You never know who that runner is going to be. And so that was kind of like, okay, you know, God, bring those people along. I'm going to hand them a blitz card. So today I did one ninja blitz. I actually talked to 2 people today. One's a potential loyal customer and one's a potential distributor. So, woo woo.
Good job. Yeah. I love it when you actually step out there. It works, you know. Wasn't there somebody else? Jacinda, you got anything you want to talk? No?
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, I've been sick. One of the things that really stuck out to me is let your surroundings be seen. Like whenever you like throw wrap parties and stuff at your house or online or something, let people see like you have kids in the background and they're running around having a good time, because if you don't show that, then people think, oh, I can't do this business. I'm too busy. I'm a mom. I mean, people have crazy households, and if they don't see that, they're not going to think this is, it's going to be too complicated for them to join in. Another thing that stuck out to me was the starfish story. That was pretty awesome. Like, you don't think you're making a difference, because you feel like you're not the highest rank that you could be, but you don't let that rank define you. You keep going because you're making a difference for that one more person. And as far as like, another thing that stuck out to me was the giving the retail price first whenever you're at parties and stuff, and you're like, oh, well, our products are this price, but you could get it at like a 40% savings, as a loyal customer, and that kind of locks in the loyal customer deal. There was just a lot of things that really stuck out to me at conference, but one of my favorite things was that my husband got to go with me, because I really opened up his eyes to the business, and that this is not just for ladies. Like, the guys can do it too, and he's like running with me on this. Like, he wants to be Ambassador Diamond on that stage next year. He wants to quit his trucking job. He's on the road right now, and he wants so badly to Zoom with us, but he can't. But I mean, he even openly said that he supported me, as my spouse. He supported what I did, but he never fully really believed that this was going to work for us until he went to conference. So if you can get your spouse to conference and you feel like, they could really blow this business up with you, do it. Like, it was totally a game changer for us.
I want to touch a little bit on what you said about the wrap parties. I've been wanting myself to like do either a monthly or a weekly or bi-weekly, I don't even know what, but some type of wrap party at my house, and just invite people, have it like as a standing, the first Monday of every month, there's going to be a wrap party at my house. That way, as I'm talking to people throughout the month or whatever, they can know that they can come to that. And I've just always put it off. I've got 5 kids. I've got 2 dogs. My house is, it's disgusting right now. It's a wreck. I've always got dirty laundry. I'm too busy. And that was something that stood out to me too. It was just the being real, and that, my house doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be spotless, and it doesn't have to be, like it came out of Pottery Barn or something. I just have to have people over. They're not looking at my house. They're looking at me. They're looking at the products. They're looking at what I have to offer. And I feel like I've been missing out on that because I've been scared to show people the real me. So I'm going to be having some weekly parties at my house. It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie. Is there anybody else who wants to say anything? I don't know that there's any who went. Let me look. Okay. Let's see. We said we were going to talk about aha moments and some encouragement for the next 21 days. So in case you didn't know it, today is February the 8th. That means we have 21 days from now until the 29th to get stuff done. So if you or anyone on your team join December 2nd or later, they are eligible for the Ruby bonus, for the $1,000 one-time cash payout. Holla! Ruby bonus. And if you don't understand why that's awesome, that's because in the past, it was, whether it was $500 or $1,000, they would pay you half the first month, and then you had to re-qualify for Ruby the second month to get the second half of the bonus. So you had a lot of people who were getting the Ruby bonus the first month, and then they may or may not have re-qualified the second month, so then they might not have gotten the rest of their bonus. So that's huge that they're actually paying that out all at one time. Anybody can go Emerald this month, and anybody can go Diamond, Double Diamond, Triple Diamond, you know, all the way to the top. So I hope you have already started. If you haven't, now is the time. The perfect time to start was like Sunday. But, you know, today will work. So if you haven't gotten ready, the first thing you need to do is you need to either get out your hundreds list, and if you haven't made your hundreds list, you need to make it. You need to do it now. You need to get a sheet of paper, or you need to pull out a Word document on your computer, whatever you want to do, but you need to write it down. You need to start working that list. You need to get on your phone, on your computer, on Facebook, on Instant Messenger, on Instagram, text messaging, calling, whatever you need to do, and you need to start talking to people. Now, when I say that, remember that we need to be thoughtful. So what I try to do is before I message someone, I go to their Facebook page, if I'm doing it on Facebook, and I just scroll down a little bit, because, you know, like if their granny died yesterday, I'm not going to message them, hey, join my team. That's not going to be the first thing out of my mouth. The first thing that I would message them is, you know, hey girl, I'm praying for you. I'm sorry that your grandmother passed away. I'm just going to start that relationship. And I may not talk about it works at all for a couple of weeks, you know, whatever, I don't know. But in saying that too, just by making that connection in Messenger, you know what happens? Your stuff starts showing up in their newsfeed. And I noticed this over the weekend. I sent 90-something, 97, 98 messages Sunday morning. And I've noticed in my newsfeed that a lot of those people that I hadn't been seeing in a while, now they're in my newsfeed now. So that means not only am I seeing their stuff, but they're seeing my stuff. So you make that connection with people, with those people that you can't necessarily say something to, but they're still going to be seeing what you're posting on Facebook. Now, for the people that you can message, you need to be messaging. If it's somebody who has ever shown interest whatsoever with the business or the products, you need to be on the phone or messaging them, period. There is no fear. Fear does not exist. Fear is for babies, and we're big girls. So, right? We're all big girls. Let's see. Does anybody else have any tips or anything that they got over the weekend as far as, you know, like practical tips? I know we kind of shared our aha moment. But does anybody have any tips? I'm looking through my notes.
I messaged something to Bethany earlier. When they were talking about doing the parties on the white couch, the one girl, I don't remember what her name was, she was saying when she's presenting some products, asking people, can you think of somebody who might need that? And I was talking about taking it maybe one step further and printing out like an empty sheet of steps to success and giving it to people, and getting something stupid like a water bottle or something, even like at the dollar store, and just putting like a wow and a greens or something in there, and whoever completes one gets a name in, and they get drawn for that prize.
Okay, yeah.
It's cheap and it's easy, but when you have them actually filling it out and they can look at that paper in front of them, it might be a little bit easier for them to visualize.
That'd be great to do at a party.
Yeah.
Give everybody a steps to success. You know, you fill it out with names and maybe even phone numbers or something, or maybe just names, whatever. And yeah,
That's a really good
Even
idea.
like if they're not interested, maybe giving it to someone who is. Say,
Yeah.
like it's whoever the host is, and saying, if you're not interested in doing this, I'm sure you want your friend to succeed, so maybe you can just fill in their phone numbers and help her get her business started.
That's a really great idea. That really is. That's a good idea. Something that was said on the White Couch that really struck me was to assume the sale. I think a lot of times we go in, well, wraps $59. I know that's a lot of money for 4 wraps, but no. We have to show the value in it. And that, that's something that I do, what everybody, y'all, I can't remember who said it, that you lead out with the retail price. I always lead out with the retail price. If somebody asks me how much is ThermaFit, I always lead out with the retail price. If somebody says how much are wraps, they're $99, but I can show you how to get it for $59. And that's good. You need to memorize those. You need to know. And there's actually a cheat sheet in your documents in eSuite that lists the retail and the loyal customer pricing for all of the products. So go print that out and start memorizing it. Start becoming familiar with it. And the more you do it, the more you say it, it'll just be like second nature to you, unless you're like me and you forget everything. So I can't remember how much ThermaFit is offhand retail right now because that's just how I roll. What else? Oh, I like this. And Cheryl, I don't think Cheryl's on here tonight, but Cheryl is the queen of keeping her loyal customers. She has the highest retention rate, I think, of anyone I've seen. Now I got an echo. Great. And I think it's just because she's very organized with it. She keeps a file system, and she's in constant contact with her loyal customers. So we've got to be careful to remember that while this is great as a business for us, that our business is our loyal customers. So if we're not taking care of them, and if we're not following up with them, if we're not checking in with them, then we're not doing our jobs, and we're not going to be successful. We're going to have loyal customers for 3 months, and they're never going to order again. And we need to be keeping them longer than that. Let's see, I'll give you the tips. Be organized, they said to create a list. Does anybody do lists on Facebook? If you don't, this is a great way to do your list for your, have a loyal customer list. And then to save it in your phone, if you have their number as loyal customer, and then their name and their ID, so that when you're texting them, you've always got their ID number to give right to them. And then one girl said that every holiday, she checks in with all of her loyal customers. And usually there's a holiday every month, so you're checking in with them every month. And then you can say something like, Happy Valentine's Day, and maybe even do a special or something, wraps for $20 a day, or, whatever. I think, I have one of my good friends sells Scentsy, and I got a card in the mail yesterday from her because I ordered some bars. And I was just like, oh, man, that's so sweet. She sent me a postcard, and it's got her family on it, picture of her family, and she wrote a nice little note on the back and drew some X's and O's and a little kissy face. And I was just like, that's so cute. I don't do that for my customers. I should do that. So I'm ordering some postcards, dadgummit. And that can be even just a simple handwritten note, that it doesn't have to be fancy. Just you're showing them that you really do appreciate them, and that you care for them, and that you're invested in them when they've invested in you. So I think we all need to work on that. Does anybody else have any tips?
Well, kind of to go with that, on like the last day, I remember someone saying something about sending out thank you notes to new loyal customers. Like, I've started, when I get a new loyal customer, I might like post on Facebook a little, oh, hey, thank you to my newest loyal customer, which is great and all, but that's more for me than it is for them, because I don't like tagging people that sign as an LC, because I don't know if they want people to know or not, so I'm not going to throw their name out there. But how hard is it? Like you said, I'll just to grab a pack of thank you notes and then write them a little note. Hey, I really appreciate you coming to me for these products, and send it to them. And then that gets them on board even more from the very beginning. And then, yeah, you still need to check up with them, but they always have that in the back of their head, like, oh, she took the time to write this and send it to me.
And if you've got kids at home, I do send thank you cards to my loyal customers. And in the past, I've had my oldest daughter, Emily, write them for me. And then I pay her like 50 cents a card, but that's a tax write-off for me too. So it's a good way for me to give her money and her have to actually earn it, but then I get to write it off too. So anyways, I know that's kind of crazy. I paid her like 50 cents a card to write some thank you notes for me, and then I had plenty stashed away to send. And, you know, a lot of times, like it says I'm unstable. I'm unstable. My internet connection is unstable. What was I going to say? Oh, like Shutterfly and Walgreens and things like that will have their postcards or things like that, you know, super cheap, like 50% off or 75% off. I think I got some at Shutterfly for like a pack of 50 for like, I think it was $20, and it had, I could put pictures on it and personalize it and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cheap. What else? I think we're almost out of time. Yep. Getting to the end. Does anybody who didn't have any questions? Yeah. So who's going to be at conference next year? I better see some hands. That's right. It is a game changer. It really is. If anybody on here needs help with a plan of action for this month, if you haven't charted, you need to get your charts out. If that chart is completely empty, let's go fill it up. Book some parties. That's the quickest way to get in front of people. I am not a party person. I told Beth when I signed up, if I have to do parties, I'm not joining. I'm not doing parties. But there's a time and a place for everything, and 21 days to go, whatever, is the time and the place for parties. So I encourage you highly to book some parties. And if you need help with a plan, get with me, Beth. Any of these girls who went to conference, I know they're all great leaders, and I know they can all help you out. So if that's it, if nobody has any questions or anything else to say. Nothing? All right. I'm going to close this out in prayer, and we'll say goodbye. All right. Let's pray. God, we thank you for this day and for this time to just come together and just share our excitement about the things that we got to experience this past weekend, and just to share the tips and the things that we learned. And Father, I pray that as we work, that we would you would develop inside of us a heart for the people that we're serving, for our loyal customers, for our distributors, for the people on our team, for our sideline sisters, for our upline, our downline, that we would just really begin to have a heart for people, and that we would love people. And in that process, Father, I know that you're going to bless it, and I know that the more that we serve other people, God, that you're going to just bring that to us, because it's just something, that's how it works. I know that. And I pray, though, that you would give us a genuine love for these people and for our loyal customers and our team. And Father, I pray that you would give us stamina through this month. I know several of us are tired and sick, and there's some with migraines. And I just pray that you would heal our bodies and strengthen our bodies. I pray that you would be with our families as we make this dash through the end of February, that you would help them to have patience with us and understanding with us. And God, just bring them alongside of us and let us show them what you can do, God. We want to bring you glory. We want you to show out so that we can praise you, and we can we can bring you glory. And God, I thank you so much for this group of ladies and the desire that they have to just to create freedom within their families and to change their lives. Father, I pray that you would bless them all tremendously and that you would work in their lives. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, ladies, let's rock it out. Let's book some parties.
Woo!
All right, see you later.
All right.
Bye.